Welcome back to the shop. I'm Model T. This is Paul Shin, my hubby, the Model A guy. We're in the garage today with the heater on.
Heater's right here.
Hopefully you don't see little, he was talking about little fumey things. Hopefully you don't see those. Got our hot cocoa. It's ready to answer some questions, but first I got a question for you.
Oh yeah? What?
Yeah? So, your debut came out on Derek's show,
Oh.
The Roadworthy Rescues.
Yeah,
and-
Motor Trend Show, Roadworthy Rescues. Yes,
Yeah.
I was on it. Now we can finally talk about it because the show finally aired.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Had
it
a
was
lot
fun.
of good feedback, so that's awesome.
That was a lot of fun to do.
And I just saw a thing on Vice Grip's page on Instagram, and he was talking about how he got renewed for a season 2.
Yes.
So congratulations,
Congratulations, Derek.
Very cool.
Nice. He's
Yeah.
he's just one of us.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. You know?
I'd like to meet him. He seems super
Oh,
nice.
super nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
So you had some time with him, and
Oh yeah, we had lots of time.
4.5 crazy days, it sounds like.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, there was nothing faked about that. And people are saying, "Oh, TV, they fake everything." No, that was legit.
Yeah.
That car really had been off the road for over 60 years. Now, granted, they had to push it back in the corner and move things away from it so the cameras could see it,
Yeah.
so we could start working on it.
So it was worse than it was when they showed
It
it.
was worse. Yeah, people are saying, "Oh, they planted the car and all this stuff." You know what? People need to just hush, because I can tell you firsthand that car was atrocious. And then we got the thing running and driving and looking respectable in 4.5 days. And then we toured the Ford Highland Park plant. We stood in Henry Ford's office.
Yeah. I know
Amazing.
that was a total joy for
Yes.
both of you.
And we even stood in Edsel Ford's office.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. There's a conference room between them. So we're Henry's office, Edsel's office, and then there was this big conference room between the two.
Yeah.
And we were there the whole thing. One thing that's really neat that I put in my video but didn't make it to the Roadworthy Rescues episode is in Henry's office. It looks like in pictures, it looks like the walls are made of wood or paneling.
Yeah.
They're metal. All the walls in Henry's office, Edsel's office, the conference room, all that, metal walls, but they put the wood graining on them like they do on a Model A deluxe dashboard and stuff. So it was metal with wood grain paint.
That's pretty sweet. I bet it looked really neat when it was new.
I bet it did, because it just looked rusty when we were there.
Oh, no. So you guys had 4.5 days in which to get this thing out of the bushes and everything else, and
running
get
and
it
driving.
diagnosed to see what was needed to get it running and what
Yeah.
was needed to do to make it look better and everything else. You guys had a lot of stuff to accomplish in a very short amount of time, but you had lots of help. I love hearing your stories about everybody needs a who?
Oh, everybody needs a Sean.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Sean Winograd. And he was a production assistant or producer assistant. I can't remember his exact title. But if we needed something, we just tell Sean and he would just go get it.
Yeah.
And there was times where like we sent him to O'Reilly's Auto Parts or something, and so he was getting whatever, and then he was like on his way out the store, and we'd call him and he'd just turn around and go right back in the store to get the next thing.
Yeah.
And one time he was backing out of the parking spot. We sent him a text for something else. He just pulled back in the parking spot, just walked in. They must have thought he was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Because we would need something else, then something else, and whatever. And Sean would just go get it. And Sean's the one who went on Face Space or whatever and found the motor that we ended up putting in the car
Oh yeah.
after the motor swap on day 3.5 or
That was
whatever
amazing.
it was.
It just
And-
took one day for him to find that, huh?
oh no, it took him like
Oh.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, Sean was
Wow.
awesome. If I had a Sean, I could get so much more done.
Yeah. And the shoes you're wearing, I see.
Oh
you're
yeah,
wearing
I have
your
them on right
shoes.
now. These are the ones
Did
that
you?
Brad bought me.
I can't remember. Did you tell them about that on your video?
No,
I can't
not
remember.
really. I kind of alluded to it. So at one point, and you can see it in the episode where
Yeah, you
Derek
guys
and I
are
are,
pouring gas.
yeah, we're flushing the fuel tank. So we had 2 buckets, and I'm pouring one bucket. I'm pouring gas into another bucket, and one of us is holding a towel over it, and we're siphoning this. Anyway, I'm pouring out, and all of a sudden the bucket just totally broke and let go, and all the gas dumped on my blue shoes.
Oh my god.
And my blue shoes are made out of mostly foam, and as it turns out, material that can be eaten by gasoline. My shoes just
Yeah.
turned to mush. I was standing there with socks covered with mush.
Oh my gosh.
And so Brad Bass, bradbass.com, by the way. Brad went out and bought me these shoes, which I'm wearing now, and new socks.
Wow.
And brought them to the set. And so literally, I had to like peel my socks and shoes because my shoes turned to mush.
Ew.
I had to peel them off, and then Christine
my
gave me some
gosh.
wipes. I washed my feet off, and I put the new socks on and the new shoes that Brad gave me, and then
Oh my
that's how I got
gosh.
through the rest of the episode.
You guys experienced so many
Oh yeah, we did.
interesting and amazing things that time. So that's pretty cool.
We were cranking, just trying to
Yeah.
get that thing done, and at one point we were even like worried we might fail, because the engine that we had put so much time and effort into was just not going to. There was no rings left in that engine. I mean, it was just horrible. We tried to bring the rings around. There's just no way. And then one of the valve seats was just trashed, and it wasn't going to stay put anyway. So we ended up punting and getting the motor on face space that we put in. And it was interesting. I'm incriminating myself, but on the way back to the shop, I was in the back of the van tearing that motor apart to get it ready to put in on our way back because we were so pressed for time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what laws we broke in Detroit doing that, but we got that motor, put it in the car, got it to run. And yeah, there was so much that went on in that short amount of time. It was pretty wild. But we did it.
You did it. Yeah. It was
We
awesome.
scored, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched every single one of the series, and of course that was one of my favorites. I have to be.
It's episode 7.
Episode 7.
Oh, so I was saying we were trying to figure out. I mean, there was even talk. They called the producers, I guess in Los Angeles or something,
Yeah.
and they asked, "Is it acceptable to do an episode where we fail?" I mean, we were really looking at failure. We were really considering, what if we don't get this thing running? Can we fail? And the producer says, "Nope, there's no way. Do whatever it takes." And we're like, "Okay, Sean to the rescue." So we came up with a plan, and we told Sean, "Here's the plan." And Sean was all over his iPhone machine, and he's like, "Well, there's this motor that's like 45 minutes away, and there's one 30 minutes away." And I said, "Well, let's go to the one 45 minutes away. If it's no good, we'll hit the 30 minutes away on the way back in."
Yeah.
But it turned out we ended up buying the first one for $500. And then we bought it from the guy and brought it back, and then you saw what happened in the episode. So
Well, it goes to show you sometimes there's no bringing an engine back to life. There's something
Well,
just so wrong with it that
that one would have just needed, I mean, it needed to be rebuilt. It was just so worn out, just super worn out. And then whatever had gotten in it, it had water in it and stuff, and the water just ate the rings. I mean, once we started cranking on that engine, whatever was left of the rings just turned to powder. It was gone.
So are you telling me that you could actually take that engine if you had more time and do things to rebuild it and actually use that engine?
Well, if we had like Willie,
Yeah.
it would have been a no-brainer. Willie could have rebuilt that engine, and then we'd have thrown it in the car, but we didn't have Willie. So,
Okay, so there is a
Yeah.
way of resurrecting it.
oh yeah. Well, the
Okay.
motor in every one of these cars has been rebuilt,
Yeah.
you
okay.
know. So,
But there isn't a such thing as an engine that just can't be brought back?
well, I suppose, I mean, if the block is damaged, so
Yeah. Okay.
let's say the block is like physically falling apart, the casting. I mean, there's blocks that we have that are no good because they're cracked in places or broken in places where, it's not really worth fixing, or even if you did fix it, it might not last or something like that. But even if a block is wore out, let's say where you've bored it out and now you can sleeve it. You can put sleeves in and then go back to standard size pistons. You can put, if the valve seats are gone, you can machine those out and put hard valve seats in. I mean, there's a lot you can do with a block to bring it back around, but there are a couple of ways that it would be no good. Like, if it's splattered, let's say, one of the pistons exited out the side or something, and that's
That just
pretty,
sounds horrifying.
yeah, it's pretty done if you do that.
Okay. Well, hopefully that helps some other people.
I hope
Just
so.
kind of curious as to how deep it could go.
I think you could see our faces though on day 4.
Yeah, you guys look pretty
we're
tired.
pretty tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why they got us hotel rooms. I really don't.
It was just to like crash for a second and then wake
Yeah.
back up and start all over again.
Well, the one thing that was really neat about working with that crew from Motor Trend, every night we got together for a dinner.
Yeah.
And we all got together. We talked about what happened that day. And it was just nice because it was like therapy kind of, you know. And Derek and I are just stressing, you know, because we were facing, here it is day 3 and we still don't have a running car. Where normally his episodes that they've shot, they've had a running car on day 1.
Wow.
They've at least got it to start on day 1.
Yeah.
We had nothing on day 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty stressful.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to watch the episode or Paul's video on the back, or what is it?
Behind the scenes?
Yeah, the behind the scenes of the show for Roadworthy Rescues, episode 7 that Paul was in. I'll put them in the link down below.
Yeah.
And in the description.
It's on Motortrend or Motortrend On Demand.
Yeah. And today's video is brought to you by gopherware.com.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. We're using his cups today. Yeah. He got these cute ones sent to us that says, I could go for some coffee. We have hot cocoa in it, but it's all right. Cocoa, yeah. But yeah, fun. He's got a lot of fun stuff. I would have wore my Gopher T-shirt with the Model T
thing,
but it's a little chilly tonight.
The heater's running. You might be able to hear the heater.
But today, I'll get back to business a little bit here. I just had to kind of talk about the Roadworthy Rescue awesomeness. And today is social media Q&A.
Social media Q&A.
So we're going to actually get to some questions that have been asked. Some of them I took from people that they've been answered already, but I thought that it would definitely benefit those of you out there that might have the same kind of questions.
Well, this is a surprise to me. I don't even know what the questions are.
He never knows what the questions are. Put you on the spot.
You put me on
Where's
the spot?
my light? So,
but if you have Model A questions, Model A Tech Questions at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I'll put that in a link in the description. And anyway, I mean, you can put them on Facebook, on Messenger, or on comment on the things that I post there, or on Instagram, on my Instagram account, or his, and I'll put those down in a link in the description also.
Model T handles all of the social media.
Yeah.
If you're asking a question on the Facebook,
yeah,
or the InstaFace or whatever, she's the one who gets the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the one that they have together on the email, it's just a bunch of people can answer, especially if you don't have a lot of time and you're trying to get a project done. That might be a little bit of a faster way to get them answered. Usually. But if you don't mind waiting a little bit and having a Q&A like this, we would love to have you on here and share your questions with everybody.
Oh, spoiler alert, by the way.
What?
Gandalf runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul's going to have a video out about that very soon.
Video coming soon. Gandalf runs and drives.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he's still alive.
And I'm still alive.
Didn't have to make a trip to the hospital or
anything. I thought for sure this tire was going to go.
It's looking pretty sketchy.
Pretty sketchy.
I'll have to take a picture of it and show it to you. I'll put it right there.
Yeah, put it right there. Put the picture there. But when I was driving, the tires are so rock hard on this thing.
Wow.
I could feel it. You know, it was pretty sketchy, but it drove. So this definitely has new tires and tubes in its future.
Yeah,
definitely.
We need to keep you alive.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy, but it runs and drives.
Yay! It's being resurrected.
Yeah, now got to do the windshield, put a new top on it. You got to finish.
Shiny.
I think I'm going to do a paint job sort of on the fenders. I'm going to go.
You're gonna.
Do a Craigslist rebuild on the fenders and just make it look nice as the body.
Yeah.
And then new tires, wheels, hubcaps. This thing will be spiffy.
Yeah, that's going to look sweet.
Yep.
And we've got our first person here, Kent.
Hi, Kent.
Kent. We may have talked about this before, but I don't think so on the videos. I think this was just something where you answered his question to him.
Oh.
But he says, how often do the radius balls need to be replaced on a Model A?
If they keep it greased, never.
Yeah?
Yeah, the radius balls, actually, like that car, it's still the factory, that car's never been taken apart, and it's still in perfect shape. This one's still in good shape. Gandalf has a little wear, but it's not far enough gone to where it's going to be shimmying or anything. But that, of course, that car didn't get lubricated properly, and it just got beat to heck before we got a hold of it and saved it.
And how often do you lubricate?
Well, the radius ball is lubricated by the overflow from the transmission and oil dripping through the rear, what is the rear main? It's the slinger on the back of the engine, down into the clutch housing through that little hole at the bottom with the sponge and all that goes there. So it actually gets lubricated by driving. What a lot of people do is they go, I don't want my transmission to leak and I don't want my rear end to leak or whatever like that. And then they, rebuild the engine and put a rear seal on it, or the transmission, they put that little Mitchell, whatever it is, stop leak thing in there, which is great because now the transmission doesn't leak. So the transmission doesn't run low on fluid, which is a great thing. However, then the radius ball doesn't get enough lubrication.
That's a good thing to know.
If you run one of those seals, just squirt a little oil in there every time you lubricate the brake rods or whatever, every, 500,000 miles, whatever, 500 or 1,000, not 500,000.
I thought you were like 500,000.
500,000. Yeah, 500,000 miles on a Model A would be extraordinary.
Yeah. So what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is it shouldn't wear out, but if it does, replace it and it'll outlast you if you keep lubricating it.
Okay. Very nice.
Shouldn't wear out though.
And Charles.
Hi,
Hey,
Charles. Charles in charge.
Yeah. He had a question about, he says, I had asked about the grease guns, what type to use. My other question, remove studs out of the hubs without messing them up. I done messed one up pressing it out, and a messed up the hub and the spindle. So I ordered new ones, but can you all comment on how to get those out without messing them up? I would be interested because I was told you press them out, but that didn't work so well for me. If you could, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, let's talk about the studs first.
Okay.
So the studs he's talking about in the hub. So he's talking about these here, what these are actually threaded onto.
Okay.
Those thread into, or those are pressed into the hubs.
Okay.
Now the hub and the brake drum are held together by those studs being pressed in like that. So when they're pressed in, it takes like a 60-ton press to do that, and dies to put the pressure exactly on the stud itself. So to press those out without damaging the hub, you need to do the opposite. So there's a die that's just meant for that. So it's kind of a round thing that the stud fits into, and then you press it out. So that way it doesn't deform the hub. Now, some of the Model A parts vendors sell those pieces. Otherwise, machine shops have that kind of stuff. We take all of ours to Bob Grady. Bob Grady is the guy who works with Randy Gross, who is the importer of the cast iron brake drums. So if you order a set of cast iron brake drums with hubs already pressed in, Bob Grady did the pressing. So since Bob Grady just lives about an hour and 10 minutes away, we just drive to Bob Grady's house and have him press them out, press in. I did that in a video on Athena. Remember that series where we did Athena, the Operation Hoopty?
Yeah.
So if you look that up in one of the videos, because we had, I think it was the right rear, one of the studs in the hub was stripped. So they had threaded a die onto that as a lug nut.
Oh, wow.
So we fixed that. So I took those to Bob Grady's, and you can see Bob Grady doing that, pressing it out and putting a new one in the video.
Okay, so I'll put that video link up there and put it in the description so they can check that out.
Bob Grady's a super nice guy. My guess is if you called him up, he'd say, yeah, send it over and I'll do it for you, is my guess.
Nice.
Super nice guy. Yeah.
Okay, and what about the other part?
Oh, remind me, I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent.
Oh, gotta put the spectacles back on.
Put your boomer glasses on.
All right, my boomer glasses. Let's see, that was a stud. Oh, and then he was asking about the grease guns. What type does he use?
Well, I just use regular pump grease guns like you'd get at auto parts store. But you got to put the Model A adapter on the end, and all the parts vendors sell the Model A adapter. It's a specific adapter that just threads on the end of any common grease gun, and that way it fits the Model A grease fittings, which are those little cone-shaped ones.
Yeah, and is it any part store, or is it the Model A part stores?
Model A part store has
so
that.
I want to make sure.
But any part store has the regular grease gun.
Okay.
Ones. We got a couple of them here. So I keep two separate grease guns. One grease gun has a Zerk on the end, the other has the Model A end on the end. So I don't have to change the end. I just grab the other grease gun if I have a Model A, or grab the other one. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it makes it really nice and
because
convenient.
club members bring their cars in And you don't know what grease fittings they. Some of them switched them out to Zerk. Some of them have the stock fittings. So
Okay.
our cars have the stock fittings on them.
All right. I hope that helps you guys. All right. We've got David here.
Hi, David.
Hey, David. He says, I had asked a question about gasket when installing the gas tank. You replied to me, and I thank you for that. But you mentioned that you install the tank with a gas tank welt. If that welt is one that has the small bead and goes on the sides and below the windshield, that's not the one I'm referring to.
Oh, okay.
I am asking if there was some type of gasket between the gas tank and the cowl where the bolts go through, front and back.
Oh, that's just welting. That's all. Well, it depends now if he has a 3031 or a 2829.
Oh,
So the 2829, it just bolts together.
with no welt?
No,
Oh,
just
wow.
bolts right together.
Okay.
Yeah, but a 3031, you put the welt all the way around and then it bolts together.
Okay. So I think that's
And then
a-
there's clamps on the inside. Clamps! Give them the clamps! And then the clamps go on the inside, on the sides.
Oh man. Let's see. What else did he say? See if that was it or not. He says, I did make up 2 rubber strips with the bolt holes in it. The rubber I used was from Roof Construction, which goes on before you install shingles or tin roofs on the house. It's quite thin and flexible.
Sounds like welting. Okay.
Okay. Kind of like,
You get it. Good job.
all right.
You
All
get a
right,
brownie
sweet.
button.
That's awesome. All right.
I could
If you have
warm
any
up my
more
hot cocoa right
questions,
here.
just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is George. Good morning.
Hi, George.
It says good morning, so I said good morning.
Dankeschön.
All right. So he says, can the front motor mount in the A be replaced while the motor, I think he meant motor, is in the car?
Yeah.
I am having trouble with getting it out due to the length of the lower bolt.
Right.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to have to pull the radiator off. Sorry.
Bummer.
Well, I mean, you probably could do it with the radiator in, but man, that would be hard.
Yeah.
You're way better. A radiator can come out in 10 minutes. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, you just support the motor. I mean, assuming the rear motor mounts are still in, support the motor, put a jack under it, whatever you need to. And then unbolt the 2 bolts on the front. So where the front motor mount is, there's kind of like, they call it a Y, a yoke or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's actually attached to the motor block itself with 2 bolts. And that Y, that's that part that has the thread that goes down with the spring around it. So in order to get that off, you have to unbolt those, pull it forward, which means the radiator should be off to do it right.
Yeah.
Pull it forward and then pull it straight up and out. And it actually kind of helps if you fudge a little bit and jack the motor up kind of a little higher than it's supposed to be. That actually helps.
Okay.
Yeah, you might have to pull the pulley too, depending on where the motor sits in the frame,
Okay.
but you shouldn't have to.
All right. I hope that helps.
Hope that helps.
Yeah.
But you have to pull it forward, up, and then it's going to hit the crank or the front of the crank, and then you have to kind of pull forward and
Yeah.
out it comes. But by that time, you've got plenty of room to maneuver it around, so it'll come right out.
This is Lewis.
Hi, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis. Okay, so one thing he says, where did you get the 6-volt alternator kit? You never say when you got the parts. So I had said to this person, the link to them in the description had disappeared.
Yeah.
We don't know why.
Bob, the Amazon links I had, they quit carrying it.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
But the picture in the video, I show the ends of the boxes.
Yeah.
So if you put those numbers in a Google search or whatever, it comes up with all kinds of people that sell those.
Yeah, and you had suggested eBay and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Well, that's where I got them.
He found one on eBay.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yay! So yeah, if you guys ever have an issue with that and you want to get yours, eBay and such is a good place.
Yeah, it's not actually a kit, but
No.
there's actually 3 parts.
Okay.
So we've got the diodes, which are the other way around, so for positive ground, the regulator for positive ground, and then the smaller pulley so that you get more RPM. Because a Model A motor, it redlines at like 2,500 RPM,
Yeah.
So you want to spin it a little faster with a lower engine RPM, so we put the smaller pulley on.
Yeah, and I'll put the pictures up here of those parts.
Yeah. right up there.
It's got the little numbers on them, blah, blah, blah. You can kind of pause the video, take the numbers, and
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Google that, and
Google.
there you go. Yeah, put it in the Google, and
yeah. All right, this is Thomas. Hey,
Hi, Thomas.
He says, I bought a 30 Sports Coupe
nice.
out in Sparks, Nevada. Woohoo!
Dang, he
this
got it
weekend.
before I did.
So he's a new owner there. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Says, I'm having a little trouble finding someone to transport it back to Tennessee. And I thought you may know of a company you would recommend. How should they find somebody like that when they need somebody to transport a vehicle for them and it's not across the ocean, but
well,
still.
okay, so here's the thing. It depends. I mean, if budget is not an issue, use reliable carriers.
Yeah.
Reliable's great. I mean, there's lots of people, though, that ship cars.
Oh, that's the name of the company is Reliable,
Reliable, yeah.
Carriers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
I was
the
like,
ones
I know
that,
you want to use a reliable carrier.
I know, right? Well, remember when we went to the auction in Monterey and there was all those semi-trucks lined up?
Yeah.
That's who was there. That was Reliable.
Gotcha.
So, but they are, like most of the people that I know that have used them, zero issues. But there's, I'm not joking, there's hundreds of people that transport cars, and both enclosed and exposed, which probably want to do, this time of year, you want to go enclosed.
Yeah, definitely. You never
Especially
know
with
what
salt on the
weather's gonna
roads and
be.
everything else, you know.
Yeah.
Which California is using salt now, so I guess we're
wow.
not, yeah. So these cars are not going anywhere if it snows.
Yeah, no more sand, huh?
No,
Wow.
the California started using, well, they call it brine.
Brine.
You know, it's salt water.
Same
but
thing.
they're like, oh, no, we don't use salt, we use brine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's salt. Anyway, reliable and, but literally, if you do the Google thing and look up automotive transport, there are hundreds
Yeah.
of different carriers. But there's a couple things. So Model A's are kind of special a little bit. So not everybody can just jump in a Model A, start it, drive it, you know, kind of thing. So you probably want to be a little bit picky
Yeah.
if transporting a Model A, especially like a sport coupe with a rag top like that. Because if they transport it on a regular trailer and they're going 70 miles an hour, that top's coming off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I saw a Model
That's
A one
terrifying.
time on open transport on the freeway when I was going to work. And there was like 3 other cars, and there was a Model A almost at the top, like second one down, and the visor had already blown off.
Oh no.
The visor was
that
missing, and the top was starting to
sucks.
flap because that visor catches air, and the car was sitting on the trailer like that. And that guy was probably going 70 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And
that's
so whoever
horrifying.
bought that car and was having it shipped got it with no visor and probably no top.
Ay, ay, ay.
So yeah, go enclosed. It's,
Yeah. And if any of you have transported your Model A and like their service, put a comment down below.
Yeah.
Help a brother
Help
out.
a brother out.
Yeah, that way he has some choices. Yeah. All right, you guys. This is Gary.
Hi,
Hey,
Gary.
It says, just purchased a barn find 1929 Ford 4-door.
Brave man.
Murray body that needs the top wood all in, finding online. It's kind of funny when I'm reading things. I'm trying to read it the way it's written, but okay. That needs a top wood all in, finding online is for 2 doors. Are they the same?
No,
Not the same.
no.
Now, I know that you have talked about fordwood.com.
Yep, that's where we get our wood from.
Do they have all the different ones for 4
Yep.
doors? I mean, you guys did a 4-door, right?
We've done 3 4 doors.
Yeah, so they have all the different types of Model A wooden frames that
Yeah.
you can purchase from them.
Well, we
I-
bought entire wood kits
Wow.
from them for 1, 2. No, it was 3 4 doors. We bought entire wood kits.
Wow.
We bought just tops for other cars, coupes, 2-door stuff. But they'll do anything. I mean, you tell them what you have, what year, and who made the body or whatever, and then they have the wood kits for it.
Yeah, in fact, that one where it's just the body out there that I was sitting in one day doing my video inside of it, dreaming of all the stuff that will be done to it, that had its wood kit done in it.
Yeah, we did
that
all
you
the wood
guys
in that
did.
one.
Yeah, so I'll put that in the description and the link down there so that
so
you
I
can
guess
find
that's
it easy.
3 or 4 doors now.
Wow.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We got to paint that. Oh, we got to put that car together.
I
Oh,
know.
man, it's so
I got to
close.
get sanding on it.
It's
So much
close.
to do.
I know.
But yeah, we've had a lot of people asking us about the framing, the wood framing inside the Model A's, not thinking that you can get them or they're going to have to make them themselves. But no, FordWood.com. They'll
Done.
hook you up.
Yep.
All the pieces you need to put in your Model A.
Yep. And they fit.
Yep, they fit nice. Okay, this is a person under the name of Silver Jade.
Hi, Silver Jade.
Hey, you. And he says, or she, I'm not sure, do you or Paul know what garage floor paint product that you use?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's from, what was it? Orchard Supply Hardware, which is no longer around.
Oh, no, but no, I thought you got it from Lowe's.
Oh, the last kit. Yeah,
The
I
last
got
kit.
that from Lowe's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's epoxy floor paint from Lowe's.
It's literally
right?
called epoxy garage floor paint.
Nice.
Literally. And it comes with the base, the hardener stuff you got to mix in. It's a 4-to-1. And then it comes with the little sprinkles. That you, and I opted for
He
no
didn't
sprinkles.
put the sprinkles.
No, I hate sprinkles. Even on cupcakes, I do not like sprinkles.
Wow,
No.
okay. I was wondering, I didn't think you did.
No, plain.
Is it the texture?
I don't know what it is. I just don't like it.
Okay,
I don't know.
all right. They're also the person that was cracking me up.
I mean, it looks like a unicorn vomited if you have the...
Oh, gosh.
I don't know.
They said that, is it too late to pre-order my She's Better Than a Gimbal t-shirt? I forget what you had said that in,
I don't remember.
but it was one of the videos, and you said she's better than a gimbal.
I don't remember.
And he got such a crack up out of that.
I see all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. No t-shirts yet, though.
Not yet. Actually, I'm changing t-shirt vendors.
Yeah, that's another thing. I know one person. I've got to find the feed part. I think it was from Facebook Messenger. A woman had asked about, how do I get one of the t-shirts? And so I said, oh, you just go to Paul's YouTube channel
surprise.
and go down below, and there's a link there, and you go into it and you can pick the stuff. Well, not knowing
Yeah,
and
sorry.
realizing that you had canceled that company because the shirts just weren't durable enough. They weren't lasting the way they should, and he wants better quality.
I was demanding quality, and they said they could meet the quality demand,
Yeah,
and come to find out they can't.
they couldn't.
So
Yeah.
what happened was friends would buy, shirt like this was one of their, when they had good quality. They had good quality in the beginning when
Yeah,
I first
in the beginning, they were lasting a long time.
when I first
and-
partnered with them, their quality was fantastic. Something happened, I don't know what, and they won't say,
Yeah.
but the quality just went downhill. And I said, you've got to bring your quality up, because I had people say, hey, look, I bought this shirt or whatever, and like 2 washes later, the stuff's coming off. That's
Yeah.
not acceptable.
No,
So
not
I
okay.
refunded people out of my own pocket just because that's the right thing to do.
Wow.
And I said, I'm sorry, here's your money back. I'll deal with them. So they were like, no, we have this, we do this with this certain process. And I'm like, it's not cutting it. Go back to the way. Well, we're not going to go back to that. We're doing it this way now. So I said, you're fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
Basically, I fired him.
Yeah.
So now I'm working with, and just dropping a hint, but I can't say yet. I'm working with another company that makes shirts and things,
Yeah.
and we might partner up.
Yeah.
So the merch might be made by a different company pretty soon. A company that has good quality.
All right.
We're just talking about it right now. It might happen though. But for right now, I don't have anything because I'm not going to let those guys rip people off. That's not cool.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to be honest. All
Well,
right.
heck yeah, they're friends. I don't want my friends getting garbage.
Dude, not
No.
even.
No.
Not okay.
No.
All right, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
So he says, is it safe to lift the Model A on a 2-post lift? I haven't seen one on one, only the drive-on style.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that got the 400A.
Oh, yes.
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 And although we did answer him, I thought that was a great thing for other people to know
Yeah.
that might have that same question.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put a Model A on a 2-post, and we did that in Roadworthy Rescues. We had the Model A on the 2-post lift because that's all we had was a 2-post lift.
Yeah.
I prefer a 4-post just because it's just
Sketchy?
it's not sketchy. It's
Okay.
it's just you got to have it just right. So we had to use the tallest extensions we had. We had a I think it was the 8-inch extensions, and we had to unscrew the pads all the way up and everything to contact the frame because the splash pans will get crushed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But watch Roadworthy Rescues.
Episode 7.
Maybe a Motor Trend will let you put a picture of the Model A on the 2 posts, and then you can kind of see how we did it.
Okay.
Anyway, so check that out. Yes, you can put a Model A on a 2-post lift. You just have to be careful.
Okay.
But it was
Sounds good.
stable. I mean, we were pounding on it and yanking on stuff.
You were all over that thing.
We were all over it.
Jeez.
Derek, Mongo down there when we were trying to get the clutch mechanism broke loose. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. He says, question, I want to find a solution for the stiff steering issue with my 28. Gary wants me to replace with a Ford 100 steering box. However, that would dramatically change the original state of the car. So I'm interested in rebuilding my steering box. He wants to know if you're interested in the job. And
I can't.
if not, can you recommend a shop or somebody for them to take their stuff to?
You can have Burt's, Bratton's, and all the Model A vendors. I think Snyder's does too. You can send your steering box to them. They'll rebuild it and send it back, or do an exchange. So you send yours as a core, and they'll send you a rebuilt steering box ready to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, get a 2-tooth steering box.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget the 7-tooth.
Yeah.
What a hassle. Ugh.
All right. Well, that's
Now there's a million
awesome.
people with 7-tooth steering boxes. Like, what's wrong with the 7-tooth steering box? I don't
Do
like
they say
them.
it just like that?
They just like that. I just don't like them.
He
Sorry.
just does not like them.
No,
Is
I
it
do
because
not.
the 7-tooth is harder to work on?
Way harder.
Okay.
They wear out faster. Every Model A with a 7-tooth steering box that I know of, it needs to be rebuilt. Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
2-tooth steering boxes, you can adjust them as they wear, and still they're perfect. And then when they're finally, you run out of adjustment, then you rebuild it.
All right. All right. This is our last person right here.
I digress.
Yay!
Hello, last person.
David.
Hi, David.
Hello. Now, I've saved this one for the last one because it's about your radios.
Is it a Whopper?
No, it's just about your radios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I thought,
Yeah,
what the
there's some
heck? We'll
radios
save it
back
for
here.
by itself,
These radios are waiting to go on the bench.
Yeah.
And the radio's up there, and the radio's up there.
So there's been quite a few people that have asked about the radios. Can they buy them? Do you work on them? All kinds of different things. But this is a good way of, I know the answer that you had given them, and he says, I'm wondering if Paul would be able to answer a couple of questions about antique radios. I'm new to the hobby and very curious about the history. Now, I know your time is limited. You've got so much going on that you don't have time to go to every single person, but you did tell them where to go where there's tons of help.
Yeah.
So tell the folks where they can go if they have questions about their tubed radios.
California Historical Radio Society. It's chrs.org, or is it californiahistoricalradio.org? I can't remember, but Tina
I'm
will
going to
put
put it in the link down below.
Yeah, right down below. Anyway, that organization, I belonged to that one for, 25 years or something?
Long time.
Fantastic organization. But there's a whole hobby built around antique radios. In fact, that's been my hobby ever since I was 7 years old, is restoring antique radios.
Yeah.
So
Long history.
our home is full of them. There's shops full of them.
We have Mount Shins and
Antique radio.
Antique Radio Museum
Museum.
here. Yes.
I have sold radios. I stopped selling radios at one point. Well, for a while I was restoring radios for other people too, like as a service. But for whatever reason, UPS and FedEx cannot deliver
They're
a tube
so
radio
rough.
without destroying it. And so the problem is, somebody would send, grandma's radio to me, and I would repair it and get it all working and looking perfect and everything, send it back to them, and it'd get destroyed. Or it would get destroyed on the way to me. You can't replace it. It's like, okay, well, you have insurance. Well, the insurance doesn't replace grandma's radio.
Nope.
And then the radios, like when I was selling them and, shipping them or whatever, and then they get destroyed. So then UPS or FedEx gives them their money back, and I get a broken radio back. So I was losing my shorts on that one.
Yeah.
So I
There's
was
some that made it, like to the Alzheimer's place.
No, one of those came back.
Oh, one of those did come
One
back?
of those was damaged, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So, no, I just quit selling it. You know, if you want to come here and buy a radio and take it with you,
Yeah.
fine. Sure.
Yep. Yep. Put in
no.
the comments below if you want them.
Buy an
Drive all
antique
the way over
radio.
here and pick out a radio.
Oh, no. Don't get them started. Well, you know, remember a couple times I had reverse birthday parties.
Reverse?
Reverse birthday parties, remember that?
I can't remember.
Well, I don't have that many friends, you know.
You have tons of friends,
But
oh my Lord.
we would invite people over, said, for my birthday party, but you can't bring presents. Don't
that
bring
you
me
have to
anything.
take
You have to
something.
take something of mine with you. And remember, like, Tom took a radio, and Henry took a radio, and
It's like, please take a radio.
they were taking radios. It's like, take something of mine. The only rule was it can't be something that's, like, registered, like a car.
Yeah.
But I'm not materialistic, and I was proving it. So I don't care. It's just stuff. You know, can't take you, because I had paperwork on you. Can't take a car because that takes paperwork. But anything else was fair game.
Can't take the house.
No, that takes paperwork. Yeah. Take my TV. I don't care.
Yeah, don't take the TV. It's our entertainment.
Well, Motor Trend
I have
now
my
is very
limits.
entertaining. Now we're watching Motor Trend a lot. So.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, it was cool. The other day when I had it on in the shop, and that guy from up the street came walking in, saw the cars because I had the door open. He wanted to talk cars. He looked on the TV, and I said, "Yep, that's me." And he's like,
It is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like, I know I see you on YouTube all the time, but to see you on a mainstream type television show, it's kind of neat. I don't know. It's
Same
different.
thing. The only difference is on Motor Trend TV, there's no comment section, which
Yeah.
is really cool. So like Derek and me, when we were working on stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna get shredded alive in the comment section." He goes, "No, there's no comments. Go for it." So like we were vacuuming out the gas tank with the shop vac, like, "Oh man, we're gonna get skewered in the comments." He goes, as he's walking by, he says, "No comment section." Like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Hey,
You can
if
do
it-
all the sketchy stuff you want.
If it works, it works,
Hey, man, there's no comment section on TV, so do whatever. It was great.
Hey, no matter what, at our garages, we're not some high dollar shops where things have to be done a certain way. If you're in your shop and you're working on your car, I say there's no limitations.
Right?
Yeah, using old grandpa tools.
It's your safe
using a
space,
shop vac and your whatever.
Gas tank.
Just whatever works.
Vacuuming gas
gets the
with a shop
job
vac.
done. Yeah.
Nothing sketchy about
No,
that.
nothing sketchy at all. So thank you guys for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Appreciate it. You guys stay safe, stay well, and we will see you next time. God bless you guys.